Okay, so I will share my screen. Let me have you guys turn on your cameras. Okay, guys, so today is October 5th. We are continuing with the concept of reflection. And today, basically, what we want to do is that we want to complete our activities in Google Classroom. So I had asked you guys to have both activities ready. But before we actually begin that, I would like for you guys to answer a short activity. It's a Google form quiz that I'm gonna put in the chat. You guys click on the link and it will take you to the activity, and it basically is about what we talked about yesterday. All right, so go ahead and do the activity that I have in the link.
Miss, I don't see the link, miss.
You don't see the link? All right, there you go. I sent it again. Click on the link and it should take you to the Google form. I'll give you guys a few minutes to do that. Can you guys see the link? Can you guys open it? Okay, I already see people are answering. Okay, who needs more time?
That is extra point means?
Depends how you guys do. Because I see, let me see. Depends what your grades are.
Ay, Miss Amici, póngame. Miss Don, Miss.
The passing mark is 8 out of 10, right? So if you got lower something lower than 8 out of 10. Okay.
Miss, I get exactly.
How many times of reflection in the Cartesian plane are there? Guess what? Okay, what? Okay. I have, let me see, how many responses? I have 16 responses. I have a lot of people missing. Okay, so it says, how many quadrants are there in a Cartesian plane? Everybody should have said 4 quadrants. What is the name given to the position on the Cartesian plane where both axes meet? That is the origin. Which axis runs horizontally? The x-axis. How many types? Okay. How many times of
Ronnie,
reflection in the
get
Cartesian are
her.
there? It should be 6. Which
Get her
learning
answer.
activity will I be doing? I will be doing activity 2. Okay, so then the last question was, it should have been both, right? But okay. Okay, guys, let's go back to the worksheet right here. Let me see my PowerPoint. Okay, so let me open the Jamboard. Mm, it's this one. I already connected my phone. Okay, so let me have you guys. Can you guys see that? Want me to zoom in? Too much. Okay, can everybody see that? No, you can't see it. Stop sharing. Share this tab to Google Meet. Share. Stop presenting. Tab. Okay, now can you see it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. So now this is learning activity number 2. It is the one that has describing transformations. So now basically what we want to do here is that we want to write, the first part says that you are to write the points. Um, so this first one says reflect across the x-axis, and then what you guys are supposed to do is to write the new point. So there is no graphing here, nothing of any sort like that. One second. Okay. So now if we take a look at this question, it says reflect across the x-axis and it gives you 3 points, right? It gives you K, N, and Q. And what we are supposed to do is that we are supposed to write the new points. So I want for K apostrophe, for N apostrophe, and for Q apostrophe. This is what this question is asking me to do. All right, so everybody understands what we need to do? K apostrophe, N apostrophe, and Q apostrophe, right? Yeah. Okay. So now if I go back and I remember what we talked about yesterday when we explained that there is like a cheat sheet. If I want to reflect something across the x-axis, then I need to remember that if they are giving me the point xy, for me to find the reflection over the x-axis, my new point is going to be x negative y, right? So that is what I have to remember. So now I am going to take each of these points and I'm just going to put it in the new form that I want it. So now all of these need to have two coordinates. Need to have the x and need to have the y. If I take a look at what it says here, x does not change. X remains the same. So I'm going to go to K and I'm going to write 1, exactly the same. I'm going to go to N and I'm going to write 4, exactly the same. And I'm going to go to Q and write 4, exactly the same, because the X value does not change. Everybody understands that?
Yes, miss.
Okay. Now, the one that is important for me to know now is the y, because if I have y here, I realize that y changes sign. It is the opposite sign now, right? So I have to be careful. That means that if y is positive, it is now going to be negative, and it has to be the same thing. If y was originally negative, then now it's going to be positive. So I have the opposite sign. Um, Everybody understands? Can I move on with the y points?
Yes, miss.
Okay, Jerome, if you weren't in class yesterday, I would suggest, Jerome, you go and you view the video yesterday, or you can go ahead and the PowerPoint has everything that I'm talking about right now. So everybody understood how I got the x values, right? The x, if I am reflecting it over the x axis, that means that I had it at the top and now I want it at the bottom, or I had it at the bottom and now I want it at the top. It is a reflection. I am flipping it. So for me to do that on the x axis now, if I had xy, my point now is going to be x negative y. So if I take a look at negative 1, what would be my new y? If I am following right here, this that is given to me, what is going to be my new y?
Just one, miss.
Just 1. Very good, Johan, just 1. If I have 0, what is going to be my new point?
Negative zero.
Are you sure?
Zero can't be answered. Just zero, miss. Zero.
Just 0. 0 cannot be. 0 is neither positive nor negative. So if we have a 0, we just write the 0, right? And what about negative 4? What would that be?
Four, miss. Positive four.
Just positive 4. Very good. And then now these are your new points. This is the answer that I expect to see. Any questions? No questions?
No question.
Okay. So can I move on to the second one?
Yes, miss.
Okay. So now when we have this question here, It says reflect across y is equal to -1. So now y is equal to -1 is a reflection across any line. So this one is we have to visualize it a little bit. There is no clue or no hint or no shortcut to getting the answer like in the first one. We have to visualize and be able to visualize the reflection that is happening here. So now in this one we have 4 points. Sometimes it is not as easy to be able to reflect something um when you're just imagining it. So now for this question, what we have to do, and the easiest way for us to do this is to count the spaces that are from the point to the -1. Is everybody understanding what I'm saying?
No.
No? You did not understand what I said just now? Okay, so looking at this one, let me see. I'm going to construct it for you guys. So what I want you guys to do you guys, you have the points written down, right? Please write down the points if you don't have it, because I am going to um, write down the points. Okay, so let me see if I can do this. Okay, I want you guys to find my second screen. Can you find it? Can you see it? And then I want you guys to pin it to your screen.
Are we doing that in a graph sheet?
No, no, no. This one is just for you guys to see this question, because you won't be able to just by me explaining, you're not going to be able to understand it, right? So I am going to graph the second one so that you guys can see how I'm getting the points, right? So let me see. Okay, okay. I have it backwards. Okay, can you guys see it? Is it up correctly?
You mean you will find coordinates with the numbers that you have now?
Yeah. So I would like for you guys right now, let me just finish setting this up. I would like for you guys right now to give me the points of that question number 2, and then we will be able to work with it. So, okay. Can you guys see it? Is it clear? Does it show blur? Did you pin it to your screen?
No, man.
Yeah.
So I asked you guys to find my second screen, the other one that says Miss Christy Mai, not the one that shows me. Find that one, and then when you put your mouse over it, or when you click over it, it should have like a thumbtack. Click on the thumbtack, and then it should pin to your screen. Right? So
Yeah, you
everybody,
look good, man.
okay, so everybody should
Look good.
have this. Hopefully it looks good on your screen. Okay. So what was the first point? Who can give me the first point? What was the first point in the question?
R -3 and -5.
R is -3 and -5. Okay, -3 and -5.
Yes, miss.
And it's R.
Yes.
Okay. What is the second point?
And -4 and 0.
Negative 4 and 0. And that is N. Okay. The other point?
V -2 -1.
Negative 2, negative 1.
Yes, miss.
What letter? V.
V
And then the last one. Okay, Sienna put it in the chat. 0, negative 4. 0, negative 4. And that is letter E. Okay. So now this is the shape that they give you, right? And I'm going to connect it just for you guys to be able to see what shape it is. Okay. So this is the shape, right? Everybody can see that. So that is the shape that they're giving you, right? And then the question says reflected across what? Reflected across what line? What does the question
the
say?
Y miss.
Across
The
y?
Y axis.
Across the y-axis?
Y Y -1.
Y is equal to negative 1. Okay. So now what does that mean?
The
Y
Y
is
axis to
equal
-1
to
miss.
y equals to negative 1. The instruction says reflected across y is equal to negative 1. So now what I'm going to be doing here is that I need to draw that line. I'm going to draw that line that says y is equal to negative 1. And that line is right here. On the y-axis, I am going to find negative 1. And I'm going to draw my line of reflection. So I need to reflect this image across that line. Reflect this image across that line. Right? Now, how am I going to do that? I am going to count from each point. So from R, from E, from N, and from V. I am going to count each point, and I am going to um, count how many spaces. E is from this line, R is from this line, N is from this line, and V is on this line. And I'm going to reflect it on the other side, right? So that is what I'm going to do. So I am going to start with R, right? If I have this line right here being my imaginary line, I'm going to count the spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 spaces between the y equals negative 1, the imaginary line, and point R. There are 4 spaces. So I am going to go on the other side from this line, and I'm going to count 4 spaces up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And here is where my new point is going to be. And I'm going to mark it. That is my new point. And that point, I'm going to name it as R1. It is exactly the same distance. There is 4 spaces from here to here, and there is 4 spaces from here to here. Everybody understood?
Yes, miss.
So now what point is this?
Mhm.
What is the ordered pair for this point?
Mm, negative 3, 4.
Look at it carefully. This is here, right? Right here.
Negative 3 and positive 3.
Negative 3 and positive 3. Very good. So in your notebook, the first one that you are writing, R1, is negative 3, 3. That is the first one for your answer. Right? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let's look at the other one. Let's look at E. From from the line that I am reflecting up to point E, there is one, two, three spaces. So I am gonna count three spaces above the line as well. One, two, three. And my point is right there. And then that point is gonna be E1. Right? And what is the coordinates for that point? What is the coordinates for this one?
Negative 4, positive 2.
Repeat again.
Negative 4, positive 2.
Where did you get this? This is the point. See, this is the point. It is on 2, but on the y-axis. On the x-axis, on what number is it?
0.
0. So my point for
0.
E1 is 0, 2. This is the second point. Any questions? Okay. So
No.
let's talk about n. Look at n right here. How many spaces away from the line is n?
2.
Look at n. This is n and this is the line. It's one space away.
1 is 1.
Now, this one is a little bit tricky because if we look at the line, our shape was here at the bottom and we want to flip it at the top. But this piece is at the top. So we are going to flip it at the bottom. So if it is one space, I'm also going to have one space under the line. And this one is going to be N1. What is the coordinates of this point?
Negative 4, negative 2.
Negative 4, negative 2. Very good. So n apostrophe n1 is gonna be negative 4, negative 2. Now when you look at v, if I reflect v, and v is right on my line of imagery, my line of reflection, so my point is also gonna be there. It's gonna be the same thing. So this point is v, but it is also v1. So when I come and write my answer, v1 is gonna be the same coordinates, negative 2, negative 1. And then this is what your answer should be, this right here, your answer for number 2. Anybody has any questions?
Miss, they will be recording for this test, right?
Yep, I'm recording. Right? So now, what we did here, and usually this is what you would have to do when you are given reflection over any line. Sometimes you can imagine it, and sometimes it's not gonna be. Imagine I was explaining, and you guys had to picture this in your head, right? So,
Okay, dito.
exactly.
But
So
can I see the bottom working?
you can only see the what?
Can I see the bottom part?
Okay. So um when you are given a question that says reflection over any line, then something like this is what you would have to do as part of your working. It's not, you don't have like a cheat sheet like the other reflections, right? So, any questions with that one? No questions? Number two,
No,
two
man.
is equal to three. Okay. I am. Let's move on to the other one. To number three, right? Number three asks you for a reflection. Is everybody finished with this one? Everybody finished writing this?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Do you guys see it clearly? Because here on my one, I see it blurry.
Tell me.
It's a little blurry, miss.
So, it's big.
Request,
It's a little blurry. I'm not sure how I
miss,
can.
the reflection across. I didn't copy everything, miss.
The
The ten,
reflection. You mean the question?
the question with the question.
Oh, the question is in the worksheet though, Ever. So just make sure that this is number one and number two. This one we just did is number two. This one that I'm showing right now. So you can go ahead and copy the questions later on because I would have to stop sharing on my device and then share the PowerPoint again.
Tell me, sure.
Okay. Okay, guys. So let me go ahead and do the other one right here. I'm not sure if it's my internet that looks like that, but it does look a bit blurry. Okay, if you guys can't see it, then you just let me know. I'm gonna see
No,
if
it
I
is
can.
good.
It's good? Okay. So this one, I'm gonna do number three right here. I am doing it with pen. Please do not do your ones with pen. If I do it with pencil, you won't be able to see it. Alright? So all of your work should be in pencil. Okay. This is my x-axis, my y-axis, y and x. Okay? So in this one, the coordinates are, the instruction says, reflect across y is equal to 3. Sorry, x is equal to 3. So now how do I find that line? When it says reflect across x is equal to 3, I need to go on the x-axis, on this axis right here. And I need to find 3. 3 is right here. So that means that my imaginary line where I am doing the reflection has to be this one. That is going to be my line where I'm going to be reflecting that image, right? Now, if I take a look at the coordinates, this one has F, W, and K. It says that F, let me see, it says that F is 2, 2, right? So I'm going to find point 2, 2 right here, and that one is going to be F. Then the other point is 2, 5. So 2 and then 5 right there. And then that point is W, right? And then the last point is 3, 2. So I have 3 right here and then 2 right there, right? And then that point is letter K, right? And then I can go ahead and I can draw, I can match the points for this one. So I have the shape. Okay, there you go. Right, that is the shape. And I have to reflect this on the other side of this line, of this yellow line, right? So I'm gonna do the same thing. I have to count between W and this line. How many spaces are there?
One.
One space. So my new point is gonna be right here, W1, right? Between F and this line, how many spaces are there?
One.
One. So I'm gonna do the same thing, F1. And now K is right on the line, so K1 is going to be there as well, the same exact point. I have reflected, I have found all of the points. Now, how would my answers look like? What is the coordinates for W? W1, right here, it has 4 on the X and 5 on the Y. So my point is gonna be 4, 5. If I take a look at F1, F1, it's F1 is on 4 on the X and 2 on the Y. So my point is gonna be 4, 2. And then K1 is on the exact same point, 3 on the X and 2 on the Y. So my point is 3, 2. And I have found the coordinates. Any questions?
No guys.
Okay, can I move on to the other one? Let me know when I can move on.
Yes, right.
Okay, so we are gonna do the last one right now because I'm looking at the time. We're gonna just do the last one for the first section, right? Okay, so now the last question for section 1 says reflect across x is equal to -1. X is equal to -1. When it says x is equal to -1, I need to find -1 on this axis. All right, and -1 is right here. So I'm going to draw a line right there. All right, and that is my line of reflection. That is where I want to reflect this image. All right, so now I look at my points. My points are, I'm going to write it right here. V is -3, -1. Z is -3, 2. G is -1, 3. And M is 1, 1. This is the points that the question is giving me, right? And I'm going to plot these points first, and then I'm going to write the reflection. All right? So I'm going to go ahead and plot them. V is -3 and then -1. So V comes here. Z is -3, 2. So Z comes here. G is negative 1, negative 1, 3. So G comes here. And M is 1, 1. So M comes here. Okay, I'm looking at the time, guys, and I am sharing screen. Can't you guys see the screen? I'm
Miss, I
sorry.
can't see nothing.
Yes, yes.
No, miss. No, miss. No, miss.
Camera's off, miss.
Long time I can't see nothing, miss.
Sorry, guys. Somebody was calling me. Can you see it now?
Nothing, miss.
Yes, miss. Yes. Miss.
What the hell? Okay, like this. Can you see it? Can you see it correctly?
Miss, right now,
Yes.
go back.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Okay, let me quickly do. Now the time is up. You guys have a class after this?
I do.
Yeah, miss,
Okay.
but you can continue, miss.
No, 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 no. You can continue, right? And then when you guys get me into problems, we will continue with this question tomorrow, right? Um,
Ah, okay, miss. Kami ese.
Finish that one, miss.
no, no,
Yes,
no,
miss.
no,
Miss, tapat
no.
ako di sinara.
Tabasan na.
Miss,
Miss,
tapat
Pat.
ako di sinara, miss.
Miss Pat, give for 5 minutes to point. Time. Kaya mo.
That was the 10 minutes on class.
Okay, guys. You guys can leave. We will start with this one tomorrow, right? I already have the question. So you guys can leave.
What about the other two, miss?
We're going to work with them tomorrow.
Bale, miss.
So we're going to start with this one and then work with the other ones, right?
Okay, miss. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, miss.
Bye.
Bye, miss.
Bye, guys.